What is up, Pirates? It is Jim with AwakenedTCG, bringing you guys our final OP03 video in our final locals tournament. It actually turned out that me and Wraith ended up in the finals in our local this week, which is surprising. That doesn't usually happen often, but for the final tournament, it ended up happening here. I'm going to be on the left on Big Mom, and he is going to be on the right playing Zoro. And he's going to play a buggy on turn 1, going first, grabbing a jet pistol. Not a super common thing you see in Zoro decks nowadays, but it definitely isn't a bad option whatsoever. Passing to me, I'm just going to tap 1, blank pudding, and just in advance, guys, sorry about the glare. It is a bit bad in that middle section on the left side of the screen there. Anyways, I'm going to grab a Sanji off of the pudding, putting the rest onto the bottom of the deck. Probably not many 2Ks in life if I can remember exactly, and I'm going to pass back to him. He'll just go ahead and swing 5, and I'm going to take that. No trigger. He'll play Izo, look at the top 5. Grabbing a 2K Jozu. Always a good option. And passing back with 2 Dawn up. I don't think this necessarily means he had a good event to use. I just think it means he had nothing to play and didn't want to actually sacrifice his buggy. But we're just going to play Katakuri, and since we have less life, we're going to actually get Rush and look at our top life, leaving it there. We'll swing 6 to leader, fearing any sort of pop effect from a trigger out of life. If we swung with leader first, he'll go ahead and take that and get a Fire Fist trigger. I think it's a 5k or less on that, so he's just going to use that for pudding. Since Katakuri is not a battle target, we're going to swing 5. He'll take that as well and get another trigger, Whitebeard Pirates, grabbing Marco to perfectly curve out next turn, even though it does not exactly have any targets. But we will pass back to him on 5 Dawn. He's going to swing 5. Knowing he's just going to play a Marco here and I don't have to be scared about any other swings, I'm just going to give him a 1k Yamato. Yep, he's going to play the Marco like I figured and pass back to me. Now on 6 Dawn. Now passing back to me on 6 Dawn. We're just going to go ahead and swing 6. He's going to give us an easy 2. 2 Dawn on leader, we're going to swing 7. And he's actually going to give us another 2 and a 1 there, not wanting to go down too low. We're going to play Katakuri, and since we've already looked at our top life, since we have 4, we actually don't get Rush, and we're going to put that one on the bottom. If I remember correctly, it was a blocker Marco that I didn't want him to have, and I kind of wanted to play around it, so when I'm going for game, that's when he draws the Marco, and he might have to use it to counter if he wants to live or something like that, because that card can get really sticky and annoying, so I definitely didn't want to deal with that early. Anyways, we're going to pass back to him. He is now on 7 Dawn with 4 life here, and he has 3 attackers on board. Not looking too terrifying. Definitely in a decent spot here. If we can actually survive these next few turns and play a 10 Mom, if we have one, it's going to be really hard for him to come back. Anyways, he's going to swing 6. At Katakuri, we'll give him a 1, and then he's going to swing 8 with the 1 attached to the Marco, and we'll actually give him that. Then playing another Marco on the board and passing back to me. Building a pretty annoying board. We're going to swing 6 at his Marco. He's actually going to let it die and trash a card, which kind of reads to me that he doesn't have many 1Ks in hand, which is why we're just going to swing at leader for 5. He's going to take it, also kind of proving to me that he doesn't have any 1Ks. Then for 8, we're going to put the other Marco at the bottom, reducing his board to not be as threatening in the next turn. Still at 4 life against Zoro, going into our 10 Dawn next turn is going to be very, very strong. He's going to play a Curly Dodon, look at the top 5, and grab a Gordon. This is going to be a great card to get rid of any of our big bodies, as it makes them a lot easier for Zoro to swing into. He's going to play Gordon, immediately bottom deck it, giving our Katakuri 8 cost, minus 3k. I already know he's going to Jet Pistol, so I just kind of threw it in the trash. Yep, he's Jet Pistol. Going to put it in the trash there. We do have a little bit of banter going on in the background. I am commentating over this match, but if you guys ever would want to hear like the raw audio, please let me know in the comments, because I think that could be just as interesting at times. Definitely a lot of friendly banter going back and forth for sure. He's going to attach 1 to leader, swing 6 at Katakuri. We're going to give him a 2k. And with 1 Dawn left, he's probably just going to attach here and swing another 8 at Katakuri. We'll give him that. Now with nothing on board to swing against his pretty sizable board next turn, even if we play 10 Mom here, we might not be in the best spot. Still at 4 life though against Zoro, reaching 10 Dawn is very strong. But I actually didn't have 10 Mom here, so I'm going to have to think of a bit of a different play. Actually use my brain, I know. Yellow on 10 Dawn using brain, very rare indeed. Going to put 3 Dawn on leader and swing at Marco. He's going to let it die and trash an event. And for 7 Dawn, I'm going to play a 3 cost blocker Brule and another Katakuri, looking at his top life once again, and leaving it there. No rush again, as he has 3 life and I have 4. And now we actually know all 3 of his life. I'm pretty sure that top life I looked at is a Whitebeard Pirates. The middle life is a 4-drop blocker Marco. And obviously, as we all can see, the bottom life is the 5 cost Marco. Now with the blocker up, Zoro does have tons of ways to get rid of it, but I don't know how much it would actually be worth it. He's going to attach 1 to leader, and 1 on Dodon is just going to be a simple 5k swing at leader. We'll give him a 2k. Another 5k swing, we're going to take that, and we already know what it is. Pretty sure it was a pudding, not giving us any trigger. Now with a lot of Dawn left to work with and 3 swings, there can definitely be some terrifying swings coming this turn, maybe even putting us down to 1 life. But let's see what he goes for. He's going to just put 1 Dawn on Marco, go 8 to leader. We are going to just block out of that. And he's going to play Makino for 1, boosting Buggy up to 7k with no Dawn attached. Very strong play. Put another Dawn on. Swing 8. We're going to take that. Oh no, he puts 2 Dawn, sorry, swinging 9. We're going to get a Shirahoshi trigger off that, which is really important for the outcome of this game. Drawing us 3. We're going to have to trash 2 here. I know it was a really rough decision. I think I had a Thunderbolt in hand that isn't great against Zoro, but I knew I wanted to play an 8-cost Katakuri and use leader effect, so I'm actually going to keep it in hand and trash a 2k and a 1k, which kind of hurts, but he's going to actually just do the rest on Zoro, swing 8. We have to take that as well. Luckily, we get a Perospero trigger, trashing the pudding, so we can swing back into the board more efficiently. That is actually really big. I don't know how important it was. It probably would have just left like just a Makino on board or something like that, but definitely not a big deal. We'll swing 5 at Makino. Sorry, not Makino, Dodon. We'll swing 0 at 0 at the Makino. He's going to take that as well. Also still showing us that he probably doesn't have much counter in hand, if any. 2 more swings left. We can get rid of 2 more bodies on board, which is going to be pretty big here. As when you reduce Zoro down to no bodies on board and not many cards in hand, that is when you get your chance to win. We're just going to play 8-cost Katakuri, put Shirahoshi back on the top. Very standard play for this deck. We're going to swing 6 at the Izo. 4k over, there's no way he's getting out of that one. 2 on Big Mom. We're going to activate leader effect, swing at Buggy. not wanting the Marco to get a free revive, and we're going to take the bottom life. A lot of people don't know you can do that. You can take the bottom of your life and then replace the top. You can only replace the top, however, you cannot use Big Mom Leader effect to place a card at the bottom. It is only at the top. However, when you take the first card, you can't take the bottom card. So since I knew the top was Shirahoshi, took the bottom, and I placed the Thunderbolt that we had in our hand. Funnily enough, though, I'm pretty sure that bottom card that I grabbed was another Thunderbolt, so didn't really make a difference. Anyways, back on Wraith on Zoro again. He's going to be on Tendon, just doing the auto attach to leader. And while we're waiting for the plays here in the comments, please let us know what your favorite parts of OP03 were. I know I had a lot of fun. There was definitely some ups and downs. We got the restrictions, a lot of red like usual, but I think there was a lot of fun new decks. Yellow as a color I think is fun. Might get out of hand in the future, but for now in OP03 I really enjoyed it. He's going to put 1 down on Marco, swing 8 at Arcata Curry. We actually can counter out of this, and I'm thinking if we do, we might be able to go for a game next turn, but with another swing, I just don't think it's worth it. So I'm going to let that go. He'll put the remaining Dawn here on Zoro, swing 9, and since I know the Thunderbolt's there, I'm just going to easily get a quick pop on that Marco. Now, being forced to use an event if he wants it to live, he knows that he's probably going to be in a rough spot if he does let it live. And he's just going to play Otama and do the Jet Pistol, which he probably would have had to get rid of for the Marco, and that would have ruined his play for that turn, so that's probably why he did not end up bringing it back. Now Zoro at 3 life, us with a Shirahoshi on top of life, still in a pretty good position as long as he doesn't have any terrifying rush cards. We'll play a rush card of our own, Katakuri, looking at his top life. We actually already knew what it was, but just reminding ourselves. Now with 6 Dawn left, we can not go for a game this turn, but we can definitely put a lot of pressure on. Thinking a lot about this just because I don't want him to have certain cards in hand. He's going to take the 5. We knew it was Whitebeard Pirates. He's going to get the trigger. We're going to see what he gets here. Bottom decking the Luffy there, as you can see, he actually didn't get any hits, which is pretty big for us. And now that we know that next life is Marco, blocker Marco, we do not want him to have that next turn because we probably want to go for lethal in the following turn. So we're actually just going to pass with 6 Dawn up, which may seem like a weird play, but I didn't actually have any cards to play in hand. I think I just have like a couple 2Ks or a Thunderbolt or something along those lines. So I'm actually just basically telling him, okay, I'm going to kill you next turn if you don't finish me this turn, which obviously is going to be impossible if he doesn't have a rush card. He's going to put 6 on leader, swing 11 at Perospero, knowing he can't go for a game this turn and just trying to save himself for next turn. We're going to search a Perospero with the Perospero. And he's going to play a Gordon and pass back to me. Probably not with a card that you can actually benefit from Gordon from at the moment. Just setting up for next turn. Now with Tendon, we are going to play a Pudding for 1. And in this 4, I remember I saw a Tenmom and a Katakuri. So I'm going to grab the Katakuri even though we were basically waiting on a Tenmom this whole game. But at this point in time, I can't really wait another turn. I basically need the Katakuri this turn. It's the only card that's going to be useful this turn for the most part. We're just going to go ahead and swing 5 at leader. Unfortunately having to give him this Marco, but it is just what you need to do if you're going for game in these situations. We're going to swing 7. We don't really care if he has the other Marco, as it isn't really doing much. And we'll play the Akos Katakuri on Pudding, putting us back to 2 life. and making it nigh impossible to win the game at this point, especially with the Shirahoshi trigger. And we also, as I do know, have a Thunderbolt in my hand, which means even if he does play the Marco blocker with no life left, I can just kind of do Thunderbolt and then slap all the Don I have onto my strongest unit and go for game. And there's really no getting out of that. But he's going to play Don for 2. Best find here is probably a buggy or something along the lines to grab a event. Yep, he gets the buggy. Playing the buggy right away, looking for a guard point or something that can possibly keep him alive this upcoming turn, as he knows he can't win this turn, as he does not have any rush units in hand. Grabbing the Fire Fist, going for the board clear strategy this turn, it seems. As if I only have one swing and he has a blocker, I actually can't go for game, and then he can kind of try to counterattack next turn. But he's just going to Gordon our 8-cost Katakuri and go for a Fire Fist to KO it. And now he can't really get rid of our Katakuri after that play, so he's just going to swing 5 at leader. We're just going to give him a 2K, and he's going to pass back to me. As I said, with the Thunderbolt in hand, we actually know what his last card is too, since we saw him grab the Marco. We're just going to Thunderbolt, and we know he only has 1K worth of counter, so 6K to lead, and that is going to be the game. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. This has been our final match of OP03. It kind of was cool that it turned out to be Wraith and I in the finals this time around, as the final match for the format. Definitely glad I can get this win and looking towards the future of OP04. Tune in tomorrow because we will definitely be doing an OP04 box opening from what I understand. And if you guys are looking forward to OP04 and looking forward to some OP04 content, please stay tuned as we are uploading daily videos here at AwakenedTCG. Anyways, guys, you have a great day. This has been Jim, and peace.